All right, let's talk about what happened last night, because if you're a Blue Jays fan right now, you're probably feeling exactly what I'm feeling: frustrated, confused, and honestly a little bit angry. The Giants just handed Toronto a 10-1 beatdown, and it wasn't even close. It wasn't a fluke. It wasn't one bad inning. It was a full team collapse, top to bottom, and it's part of a pattern we've been watching for weeks now. Before we get into it, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button, because we're covering this team every single day, good or bad. And today, unfortunately, it's bad. Drop a like if you're just as frustrated as I am watching this team right now. So here's the situation. Toronto is now 7 games under 500. 42 wins, 49 losses. That is the worst record they've had all season. And it's coming at the worst possible time, because the trade deadline is barely a month away. August 3rd. That's it. That's how long this front office has to figure out whether this roster is a buyer, a seller, or something in between. And I'll be honest with you, watching that game last night, it's getting harder to make the case for a buyer. Let's break down what actually happened, because the details make it worse. Heliot Ramos alone hit 2 home runs and drove in 5 runs for San Francisco. 5. That's basically the entire Blue Jays offense's job for the night, and one guy on the other team did it by himself. Meanwhile, Landon Roop cruised through 8 innings, only allowing 3 hits, and picked up his 6th win of the year without breaking a sweat. 8 innings, 3 hits, against a lineup that's supposed to have some of the best hitters in the league. Where was the offense? Where was the fight? Because for stretches of this game, it looked like batting practice for the wrong team. Here's the stat that really gets me. Before Kazuma Okamoto hit a solo shot in the 6th off Toronto, the Blue Jays had gone 29 straight innings without scoring a single run. 29 innings. That's the 5th longest scoreless drought in franchise history. Let that sink in for a second. This isn't some brand new expansion team figuring things out. This is a franchise with real history, and they're flirting with the bottom of their own record books for offensive futility. If you're as stunned by that number as I am, drop a comment below and tell me the last time you remember this team looking this lifeless at the plate. And then, right when it looked like they might actually claw back into the game, they beat themselves. Andres Jimenez had a bad throw to third that let a run score. Then it was a double play ball that got away from the third baseman in the 6th inning, and that one mistake blew the game wide open. 5 runs scored in that inning alone after the error. Kevin Gausman gave up runs on a double play, on a delayed double steal that caught the defense flat-footed, and then the wheels just came off after that fielding mistake. This is the part that drives me crazy as a fan. It's not that the Giants are some unbeatable juggernaut. It's that Toronto keeps handing teams extra outs, extra bases, extra runs through mental mistakes. You can live with getting beaten by better pitching on a given night. What's harder to swallow is watching your own team give away free runs because of sloppy defense and bad reads on the bases. John Schneider didn't sugarcoat it after the game. He basically admitted the team played poorly in every single phase: hitting, defense, situational baseball, all of it. And look, I respect that he's not hiding from it, but at some point, admitting the problem isn't enough. This has been a season-long theme, not a one-night thing. Kevin Gausman said something after the game that stuck with me. He said they're just not being a good, consistent baseball team right now. And that's the core issue. It's not that this roster lacks talent. Fangraphs still had this team's playoff odds sitting around 23% even after this loss, which was their 10th defeat in the last 13 games. 23% with talent like this on the roster tells you the underlying issue isn't personnel. It's execution, consistency, and maybe even mentality. Let's talk injuries for a second, too, because the timing could not be worse. Jesus Sanchez is only just now getting back into game action after dealing with an ankle issue, and Addison Barger is still out with back and elbow problems. So right when this team needs reinforcements the most, the cavalry isn't walking through that door anytime soon. That puts even more pressure on the guys who are healthy to actually perform, and right now, too many of them aren't. Now here's where I want to get into my own take, because I know a lot of you are going to agree with me on this. There's been chatter about whether this team needs a players-only meeting. Schneider wouldn't confirm or deny if one has already happened, but he did say he's talked with the veterans about where the team stands. Gausman said there have been internal conversations. Translation: Something is clearly being discussed behind closed doors because what we're watching on the field isn't good enough, and everyone in that clubhouse knows it. Honestly, I don't think a meeting fixes this. Meetings don't turn 29 scoreless innings into runs. Meetings don't stop a routine ground ball from turning into a 5-run inning. What fixes this is players stepping up individually and collectively deciding they're done beating themselves. Ernie Clement even said it himself. They know what they need to do. They know they're close, and it doesn't take much to turn this around. I want to believe that. But close doesn't cut it with a trade deadline coming up fast and a division that isn't going to wait around for Toronto to figure things out. So now the front office is staring down a decision that would have been unthinkable back in April. Do they stay the course and bet on a talented roster snapping out of this funk? Do they make aggressive moves to patch holes and push for a playoff spot that's still technically alive at 3.5 games back? Or, and I hate even typing this, do they start thinking about selling off pieces with expiring contracts if the slide continues? That third option should not even be on the table for a team with this much talent. But if nights like last night keep happening, it's going to be forced onto the table whether ownership wants it there or not. I want to hear from you on this one, because I think the fan base is genuinely split. Drop a comment and tell me straight up, are you still buy what this team is selling? Or is it time to start hearing the word sell and rebuild in the same sentence as this roster? Smash that like button if you want more honest breakdowns like this one. Subscribe if you haven't already, and let's keep tracking this team together, win or lose. Because right now, there's a lot more losing than we signed up for. We'll be back with the next update as soon as this team takes the field again. Until then, let me know your thoughts down below.